Listeners, our friends Hal and Kris Cohn of Cohn Realty Group are back today. And while I'm always love learning about the local real estate market, along with some really great tips for homeowners on sprucing up your garden like in our last episode, I am very excited about our topic today of all things dog friendly. As a dedicated dog owner, I'm a little biased, but I just really love talking about our pets. So thank you, Hi. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Well, we love it. We love our pets too.
I mean, what would we do without them, right? I can't even imagine. So because of our March-April issue and the focus on our very best furry friends, today we're chatting about the insights you both have when it comes to our pets and our real estate needs. It can be tough when you're looking for a perfect home, not just for yourself and or a partner and family, but also with pets, whether it's needing a fenced-in yard, a single floor for older pets who can't get upstairs, nearby walking paths, all those kind of elements that go into it. So thank you. I'm really, obviously, very excited about today's topic.
Well, with that intro, I think we're just going to turn it over to you and let you just go right at it.
Well, I know what I need, but you guys are here to tell me how to fit those needs, right? So.
And I'm interested. What kind of animals do you have? Pets do you have?
Well,
do you have a
so
dog?
now we have a small, almost 3-year-old puppy named Henry.
Oh.
But we moved into our home. We had an older dog, and so it was single level, luckily. And when we had to eventually let him go, the steps weren't too bad of a problem before that had to happen. And that was really important to us.
It is.
Now we have a mischievous terror of a terrier, and his name is Henry, Prince Henry.
Oh, so you're just feeding into it. I hear that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Without question.
Yep.
He's a monster, and I love him so much. Anyway, he goes to school.
Oh my goodness,
we're real bougie around our house.
Where does he go to school?
He's at Nature's Emporium, just down the street.
Yeah.
He's playing with all his best friends right now.
Oh,
I love it.
We can't talk. I mean, our Dixie Lola is a golden doodle, and
so cute.
She is at Canine Cottage right now in Salem.
I love it. They're all living their best lives, and we're just working for them, I guess.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I always laugh because so when Dixie goes outside first thing in the morning, she comes back in, and guess what she does? She takes Chris's spot on the couch and just curls up and don't mess with me. I'm getting my second nap in now.
Well, I'm jealous.
Yeah, me too.
Perfect. So in talking about your experiences with pets in real estate, how do you think those two things overlap besides the examples I might have listed earlier?
I'll let you start.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great example. Pets are so important to both our buyers and sellers. It's so funny when we get on a consultation, be it via Zoom or in person, and our clients, the first thing they'll show us is look, here's our pet, here's our dog, here's our cat.
Do they do that above their children?
Sometimes.
Well, I think probably because the pet's there with them. If they're at the house right then, and the kids are somewhere else, probably at school or something.
Yes.
So I would say pets first in that regard, not because they love them more, I would say.
That's funny.
But it is interesting. They are absolutely part of the family. And that plays a big role into buyers where they want to be. We hear over and over again, people want a sense of community. And I think that if you're a pet owner, you really have an opportunity to establish that sense of community just by walking your dog. And we've seen that.
Well, I was just having coffee this morning with my mom, and she's like, yeah, I was walking down the street with the dogs this morning, and, such and such neighbor was like, we usually just say hi, but today we actually had a conversation. It's because they're out in the community within their neighborhood, right. And so you build relationships that way, to be honest with you. So you got the affinity of the pets, but then you've also got the affinity of the neighborhood. So it's that's just a perfect storm per se.
Right. And I think it's not only about community, but also the housing needs in particular. I mean, there's a lot to take into consideration. We definitely put pets into the mix and make sure that the house aligns for the people and the furry ones.
Yeah, like you said, it's you got to take into consideration, if you've got cats. We had one client that moved here, and their whole thing was they were going to build a room in the basement for the cats.
I love it. I love it.
So I mean, that was the big thing. As they were looking for houses, they had to find a house they could do
bunnies.
that with.
We've had bunnies too in the basement, so that's important.
So you got that piece of it, and then also, like you said, fenced-in yard. How important is that? If you've got senior animals that
Stop.
What?
You're taking away other stuff.
Oh, I thought I'm sorry. Cut all that. Sorry about that, Spencer.
We don't have a lot of meat in this one.
That's all
I didn't know
right.
we were going there yet. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
I can fill in the gaps. Don't worry. It's all good.
Thank you. Yes, you can. Yeah, you're good at that.
Okay, so where are we going then?
I think we're done with that question.
Okay, so we're gonna stop at the cat lady.
All right,
Are we gonna
stop
stop
cat
after
lady.
that? Is that
Yes.
right? So we're gonna start.
Yeah.
Stop.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Yes.
3,
Just so Spencer
2.
knows.
One. I have a confession to make, actually. Speaking of neighborhoods, when I'm walking my dog, I know all the dogs in my neighborhood, and I don't necessarily know the neighbors' names.
Agreed.
I know that makes me. I'm so sorry, Wasina neighbors. I love you and admire you, but I'm mostly smiling at your dog when I walk by you. Just so you know.
In case you were wondering.
That's so
But I would
true.
love to say hello and talk about our dogs. That's not a problem. So, do you find Roanoke in particular is a dog-friendly city?
Absolutely, I do. I think everything from the excellent vet care that we have, all the way to things like weather, as silly as that sounds. But I mean, think about these poor dogs in the snow or the desert climate. Our dogs have it made.
They do.
Well, I always laugh at America's Funniest Home Videos where you've got like the dogs that have to go out in the like 10
Yeah.
feet of snow, and it's like, and they're this.
It's a Chihuahua.
It's a Chihuahua. It's like they start walking, and they're good for a bit, and then all of a sudden, boop, where'd they go? You know, so I feel for them. So here, I mean, we've got the outdoor amenities, which is huge for people with animals, right? Especially dogs. You know, you got lots of trails and greenways.
I've seen some cats on leashes on the Greenway, so that's
you?
oh, I have, absolutely, and it's great. They're just kind of hanging out, or like in a backpack or the
Wow.
stroller. Like I love that because again, they're family, so we want them with us all the
I'm
time.
surprised cats do that.
We've seen a
They're so
goat.
independent.
We've seen a goat
A
on
goat?
a leash.
Yes.
That was in Blowing Rock. It was bizarre.
But awesome! Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I think between, like you were saying, the outdoor, the greenway spaces, hiking, camping. I mean, so many hiking trails. That's where you see a lot of dogs as well, on leash, off leash.
The river, because they'll go play in the river, right?
True.
Lake. Down
And
at
then
Mountain Lake.
even places like restaurants that are dog friendly. We've got Unleashed, the awesome dog bakery. And then, you know, I always think about breweries like Big Lick. I love going there just to see their dogs. If I have a beer, that's fine, but they're dogs.
That's exactly how I feel about it. I go for the dogs. So beer's good.
Right.
But look at that really cute dog over there in the corner by the fire pit. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what happened. I think the first time we were there, second
Yes.
time we were there, we actually met the owner and had a golden doodle, I think. Is that right? That was there. And so they just came and hung out for a little bit. And we're like, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm the owner.
He was so humble
Yeah.
too. That blew me away. But we do have a good idea. We have ideas of how Roanoke can become more dog friendly.
Well, tell me more.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, whenever you travel, you always pick up things. And we just got back from St. Petersburg, Florida. Very dog friendly. And they had a really cool restaurant. It was called Dog Bar.
I'm all in. I don't even need
Yeah.
to know anything else. Just stop there.
It was a bar with munchies and had an indoor-outdoor area. The outdoor area was astroturfed and was just set up for dogs to roam around and play.
I'll see you guys later.
They were fenced in.
I gotta go buy a plane ticket real
They had,
quick.
they had kiddie pools.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
But you could eat, drink, and there was probably 10 dogs when we walked by, along with their owners, of course. So they were just hanging out and having a
great
good time.
idea.
Somebody please get on this
know.
right now. I'm your first investor, I swear.
Love it. Love it. They had something else coming up too, right?
I don't remember what I saw it, and it's like within a year. It's almost like it's a dog water park or something, I think.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. Henry would hate that, but I know lots of other dogs who would love it. Maybe your golden. No dice.
Our
No.
golden doodle is more poodle. For sure. She
prances.
I love it. In the wet grass.
Yes.
Yeah, Henry's not a big fan either. Well, and talking about, so going back to some real estate tips, you know, sellers and buyers and the animals that they love, what do you have some tips for them for when it comes to their needs?
That is a great question. For sellers in particular, we are going to come in and really address those hard things you may not want to hear with pets and the residue that they leave.
Sure. The nicest way to put it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But smells are really important.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just get immune to those things as pet owners. But we're going to look at smells. We're going to look at fur, the environment. Even if it's like a turtle tank or an aquarium or a lizard, a reptile, you've got to keep those things clean and make a good impression.
And outside, I just had a thought too. It's like you want to make sure that if you have a dog that's, going to the
Yeah.
bathroom in the backyard,
Yeah.
pick it up so that people aren't stepping in it whenever they're walking through
Nobody
that
wants
yard.
that.
Like a realtor. I've done
Like, hey,
that.
I don't want to be finding any landmines back there.
Yeah.
Ask Hal how he knows.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
And another thing is too, like comfort during the showings. You know, your dog or cat may be very uncomfortable with new people, strangers coming into their house. So yipping dogs just don't go over well for new buyers. It's almost it's very distracting at times.
Yeah, if the buyer can't feel comfortable inside the house, then they're not going to even consider making an offer, right? So you want to make it as inviting as possible. And like, even as for realtors, it's stressful because like people
Yes.
will leave their cats and it's like the cat will get through a door in one part of the house, and then you can't get them back out. You don't know if they're friendly or not. So it just adds an additional layer of complexity and stress for the realtors and the buyers. It's just not beneficial for sellers, to be honest with you. So you got to figure out a way to actually mitigate that whenever you're getting ready to list your property.
Yeah, and then for buyers, I think flipping the coin, you want to make sure you select a house that's right for both you and your pet. We talked about that great example about mobility. We had a client with elderly dogs, and so that first floor easy access to the backyard was great. We have a lot of mountains and hills, so you need a yard that's conducive for whatever that your dog or pet needs. Fenced-in yards, of course, is what we always think about. And how to manage a house that has had some bad pet owners.
Yeah,
or I shouldn't say bad pet owners, some issues with their pets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you can think about like, hey, I've got an older dog that's like, had problems inside, so you need to replace carpet, or you've got hardwoods that are stained because of it. So, how do you remedy that? Or you've got a terrible terrier that's like a terror of a terrier that's like shoot up the baseboards, right? So it's like you want to make sure that those types of things are addressed. Otherwise, you're going to be taking a hit as far as like the maximization of your profit.
Sure. I have one more weird example, which is scratch marks on your door. My house, we've lived there for 13 years, and there are still marks from the previous owner's dog, and it just drives me crazy every time. I swear it's on my to-do list, or it's on my husband's to-do list. Sorry, but but it's one of those examples where, yes, it's one of the first things we notice, even though we've lived there for 100 years. Now it's like, okay, we got to get that fixed, even as homeowners and not sellers or buyers.
And luckily, we have a team of experts that can come in. We've got great vendors that our clients like and trust. So if y'all don't feel like doing that, we can refer you to someone.
I'll get your card after we're done here.
And along those same lines, too, I don't know if this is going to the next question or not, but from the perspective of, like you're hearing us say, hey, you got to have your pets have to be like caged or crated or whatever. Our recommendation to all of our sellers is when you get ready to go to the market, we're going to list it on a Thursday or a Friday. And our recommendations always go on a mini vacation. So go stay with somebody, take your pets with you, hang out for 3 days. And the way the market's been, you should have a good amount of traffic. That way you're not having to worry about getting in and out all the time and moving the dogs around, the cats around, your iguana around, whatever. And then that way it makes it smoother and less stressful for you as well. So you go out of town, enjoy yourself. When you come back in town, hopefully you got an offer or two to consider. And then you're like, okay, now I just start packing.
And you've had a couple days away.
Yes.
So that's pretty nice too. That's my favorite tip yet. I love it.
I'm doing good on tips.
So as far as your own experiences, and especially in your profession, have you ever had to sell a house where a parrot's just squawking at you the whole time, or like any like weird,
I went into
stories?
one last year that had like 2 expensive parrots in one of the rooms, and
really,
basically we couldn't go in that room.
Did they yell at you?
Oh, they were squawking even while we were walking through the house. Yeah.
I like people who train their birds to like just sit there and curse at you. Like, get out of my house, man. How about any other like fun stories that you might have?
Well, I will say that Hal has this attraction for cats. Cats are not necessarily his favorite animal.
Okay.
I'm not a cat person. Don't hold it against me. I mean,
know.
I like them fine, but one, I'm allergic to them.
Yes.
So I just start getting hay fever and all that stuff from it. So that's
but
the
naturally,
biggest thing.
that makes you the immediate magnet.
Yes.
So every time we go to a client's house that has a cat, they make a beeline for Hal, and they'll rub against him, get in his lap, and try to win him over. It is hilarious.
Good kitty.
Yeah. I never know about cats. I'm like, are you gonna like turn psycho on me and like scratch me? Or are you gonna get in my face? So I like start like crying and have mucus going everywhere, and I can't even finish the consult.
It's funny. So I think that's one of the funniest things. But we've had quite a few interesting encounters with dogs that were surprised that we were there, or cats that slip out even though we know we're trying to make every level.
And we try super hard. I'm telling you, like I read, just realtors, if y'all are listening to this, I read the private remarks. I promise.
Yes.
And because of that, I do everything I can to keep the dogs, the cats, whatever, where they're supposed to be. But sometimes they're just crafty.
Yeah.
He's like Elastaman trying to squeeze out of that door right now, just right on his heels.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys both so much for being our guests on From Print to Podcast and for sharing the great things happening in our real estate market. And of course, for our pets. That's so fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. They've been great tips. Be sure to follow Hal and Kris Cohn on their social media pages, including YouTube and Instagram at Cohn Realty Group, and learn more about their business and see homes listings at CohnRealtyGroup.com.